So I've been thinking about doing a video, and the subject of the video is going to be making a uh, 10K DPS ship on as small a budget as possible. Um, some of the things I have to consider are duty officers, bridge officers, bridge officer stations, ship equipment, and the ship itself. Um, I was thinking about using let's see. Let's go ahead and open up the wiki here. I was thinking about using a cheap little mirror ship. Let's see. Right now I'm flying a Phantom Intel Escort, but let's see what we got here. What's up with the Patrol Escort? Let's see, 3 engineering abilities, 2 science abilities. So there's the Patrol Escort. How about an Advanced Escort? So we have 3 science abilities, 2 engineering, and the standard tac setup, commander and lieutenant commander. Let's see how much these ships are in game. Under half a mil. And the Advanced Escort. Again, under half a mil. Yeah, why not? For the purposes of the video making? Sure. I'll just get them both. I don't even know how many available ship slots I have. Okay, let's go ahead and unbox our new ships here. The USS Chihuahua. That's amazing. I'm gonna keep it like that. And the USS Alexandra. Okay, so we have our ships. Let's go ahead and look at what they can do here. See, 4 fore weapons and 3 aft weapons, and the standard 4 slots for a deflector, impulse engine, warp core, a shield. And then we have 2 device slots. That's pretty typical of an escort. And then it's a little short on engineering, science, and tactical consoles. Shorter than I'm used to. We got 4 tactical, 3 science, and 2 engineering. And then we have the Alexandra, that's kind of like an engineering flip from that, where we have 3 engineering, 2 science instead, and the same for tactical consoles. And of course the same amount of fore weapons and aft weapons. There's no way I would run this setup of weapons on any ship ever. 2 torpedoes on the aft, a phaser on the aft, phaser on the front, a torpedo on the front, and 2 dual cannons on the front. This setup makes absolutely no sense to me. I just don't understand why they would even bother. It would make even more sense if they were just like, 7 phaser beam arrays on all 7 slots. So that's definitely going to change. Basically what's going to happen is I'm going to take the equipment off of this ship, which is all just, reputation and fleet equipment. The advanced fleet dual phaser beams, the gravimetric photon torpedoes from rep. These are from the fleet base. Okay, this is something that you would have to buy or make. The omnidirectional beam array. That's I actually do not have the duty officer because I can't afford the duty officer. So I ended up buying this off the exchange for a few million energy credits, probably 2.5 to 3.5. I can't imagine I would pay any more than that for it. And then the kinetic cutting beam, that's also from Reputation, and the biomolecular phaser turret, that's from Rep. The assimilated ship set, that's also from Rep. Elite Fleet Plasma Integrated Warp Core, that's from the fleet, of course. And then this is from the fleet. Neutronium alloy, that's from the fleet. Let's see. This is Reputation. Omega Reputation. More Reputation. Reputation. And then these consoles here, they're also fleet consoles. When I say fleet consoles, people go, ooh, oh my goodness, no, that's too expensive. But really, when you think about it, all it is just a little bit of farming. You really don't even have to do a whole lot. And I'm talking like maybe once a day you run, the 3 hard missions with you and a couple buddies on Defera, and then you hop over and do like, the STF fleet alert and maybe some Borg disconnected for more fleet marks. And then you take those fleet marks and then you contribute them to your fleet, and then you have fleet credits. That's one of the most efficient ways. If you're in a really big hurry, you could save up your dilithium and contribute your dilithium, and then once you have all of the contributions you need, the fleet credits you need, then you can save up the dilithium to then purchase the items. Perhaps time consuming, but guess what? It's free. Dilithium is free in game. So do what you got to do to get to get your fleet credits up. It doesn't take that long, especially if you dedicate to it. I mean, we're sitting here talking about, dealing 10k damage with a ship that I just bought off the exchange for 450,000 energy credits. So, I mean, you're saving in one place, spending in another. But in all reality, I never had to whip out my credit card to do this. So, let's go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and ready the starship, and yeah, I'm gonna ready the starship so that I can take a look at the bridge officer seating. Having it sitting there and looking at it is more effective than looking at it on the wiki. So let's see. This right here is definitely going to be a Drake build. I would definitely run a Drake build on this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back here and I'm going to pull off the equipment from the ship I'm currently flying. And yes, my weapons are upgraded to Mark 14. Again, that's another free thing you can do. You farm some STFs, or maybe do whatever you have to do to get some energy credits. And I guess, try to run some STFs and get some crafting materials. And craft you some craft some tech upgrades and upgrade them. You don't have to buy the tech upgrades, but the tech upgrades are, you know, expensive to buy, but super, super cheap to make. I think it's 15,000 energy credits per each one. And energy credits really flow like water in this game. I mean, if you have your mind set to it, you could make a lot of energy credits very quickly. And we'll just take this equipment off and throw it away, because I can't sell it. I guess I can sell it, but it sells for 0 energy credits, so it's quite literally worthless. And let's go ahead and throw the equipment I just took off my Phantom Intel Escort onto the USS Alexandra. Obviously, I've chosen the phaser energy type as my main single energy type here. And this is even though it comes off green when I shoot it, it's actually still a phaser turret. And I really couldn't decide on something to go in this slot. I thought about a beam array, but the arc on it is too small. Even though it's an array, like, it's got a large arc, but it doesn't reach forward. And for my escort ships, I am going to primarily be facing forward, so this really isn't something that I would throw like a phaser array onto. I might throw a torpedo on here, maybe. But like I said, again, I'm mainly facing towards my targets. So, yeah, I mean, I can't justify throwing anything on there that doesn't fire forward. So I go with a turret. I'll go ahead and just discard all of this right now. And I'm not sure if I've already said it or not in this video, I am a 100% free-to-play player. I've never spent a single penny on this game. Not ever. Not once. This right here was expanded by me saving up my dilithium and then trading it in for Zen and then expanding my inventory using that. The same with my duty officers. I have, possible 175 duty officers on my ship. You start off with 75, 100. I can't remember which. It's either 75 or 100, and I've expanded it since then. And again, that was saving my dilithium and then purchasing Zen using the exchange here, the dilithium exchange. Purchasing Zen through that with my dilithium. So that's that. And let's see. Let's go ahead and beam out to system space here so that I can see my bridge officer skills. I'm going to go ahead and equip my bridge officers right now. So let's see. You and you and you and you. And you. Okay, so right away I noticed something wrong here. I want hazard emitters on this ship for a whole heal and a debuff cleanse, and he does not have any of those skills. So I'm gonna go ahead and transwarp to Earth Space Dock. There we go, Sol System. They actually changed some of that with the newest content update in the game. The transwarp names were changed. That transwarp used to say Earth Space Dock. It now says Sol System. And wow, I really do not like the look of this ship. I am definitely going to be changing the skin on this ship before we get started because I can barely even stand to like look at it. I don't even want to look at it. So we're here and we are going to head to the Bridge Officer Skill Trainer. Space Science, and we will pick up Hazard Emitters 1, Hazard Emitters 2, and Science Team 2. And we'll just train him right now. Let's see, where are you? Learn. And then learn. And learn. And let's go ahead while we're here, while we're at it, and take a look at Nikki, whatever his name is, and see what he's got as skills. Emergency power to weapons 2. Emergency, oh no, I need to get emergency power to weapons 1. Yeah. It's engineering space. Emergency power to weapons 1. That's that. And I'm going to keep that engineering team because I need a whole heal, because this ship is going to it's going to be grabbing a lot of aggro. It's going to be garnering a lot of attention from the enemies, and these two guys actually have all of the skills that can be purchased. So now that we're ready, we're going to head back out to space. I'm going to go ahead and collect these because that annoys me, seeing that flash there. So we're going to go back out to space so we can look at our skills again. Let's see, stations. That's going, oh, I forgot to learn the skills on him. So we'll go ahead and do that now. And I can't learn any skills on him until I promote him. So let's see, tactical team for survivability. Let's call it a beam overload. Let's go ahead and call that torpedo spread 2. And we'll do a fire at will 3. That's going to stay as Omega. And I'm going to run another tactical team 1 for more survivability. That way I can stack them together. And we're going to use beam array overload. Yeah. And beta 2. This skill is really nice because it actually helps your whole team out. Beta does. Everybody does more damage when you use beta. And beam overload is great for spike damage. And torpedo spread is great for multiple targets, and the same for beam array fire at will. And there we go. That looks like a decent bridge officer setup to me. It's not perfect. It doesn't have any of the newest, greatest, latest and greatest skills. You probably won't see anybody doing, you know, anywhere between 50,000 and 150,000 DPS using a bridge officer skill setup like this. You probably won't see them dealing that much damage in a mirror ship either. So I'm just aiming for 10k DPS. This is for the new guys, and this is for you guys out here. You know, if you're sitting here watching this video right now, chances are you need it. So that's what this is all about. This is to get you into the 10k DPS channel. This is so that you can advance further into the higher level of gameplay. I'm just going to drag all these skills off. Anything I don't use, anything that's redundant, basically all of the bridge officer skills are going to go because I like to keep things clean. And there, my bridge officer skills are right here, so I don't need those. Let's go ahead and make everything all nice and organized. Let's open the list up and take a look here. Assimilated tractor beam. I get that with the 3-piece assimilated set. That right there is a survival mechanism. It puts up a shield, a bubble around your ship, and anybody within that bubble gains increased shield regeneration, a lot of shield regeneration. Engine battery for turn rate and speed, because that's something an escort kind of needs. A little bit of turn rate, a little bit of speed. That... I'm going to give it one more once over to make sure I got everything I need and use here. Okay, now to personalize. Oh, that's one more thing. I almost forgot. Duty officers. Okay, I have an expensive duty officer here. He's Keel L. He's got a chance of removing all debuffs on use of an emergency power ability. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove him from active duty. And yes, I can equip 6 duty officers. You can get the ability to do that from your fleet spire. That's going to cost you 150,000 fleet credits. Again, free. So, what am I going to replace him with? Chance to reduce the time to recharge torpedoes? No. I know. How about a warp core guy? Warp core engineer. No, that's the same guy. Chance of improving your ship power on use of any emergency power ability. Yeah, why not? Chance to temporarily improve my ship power by 20, all power levels. So I have a 20% chance every time I click emergency power to weapons. And something we gotta look at here too, like I've got an energy weapons officer here, chance to reduce the time to recharge when using beam special attacks, which makes my fire at will and overload cool down faster so that I can use them more often. I have a recharge time reduced for engineering team and recharge time reduced for science team. I don't have the tactical team guy, even though he makes all of my attack patterns stronger. I decided that the bonus to that is really not that critical. When actually, I am gonna run an attack patterns guy. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna use that power guy. Let's go up here and see if we can get a tactical team guy. Recharge time reduced for tactical team and buff. There we go. That's the one I'm going to use. So I've got 2 guys on here to reduce the time to recharge torpedoes, a guy on here to reduce the recharge time on beam special attacks, and 1 guy for each of the emergency team, science team, and tactical team. Did I say emergency team? I meant engineering team. 1 for each of those to reduce the cooldown. And honestly, I could actually run with all rares here, and that would cut the cost down considerably. But since I have them, I'm going to go ahead and keep them here. I did want to remove Keel L because he does cost around 8 million energy credits, so I wanted to take him off because this is a budget build, right? So there we go with that. I've got survivability covered, I've got damage covered, I've even got my torpedoes covered. So there we go. Everything I've got right now is playing off of each other. And then I've got a Saurian tactical officer and a Saurian engineer for the efficiency trait. Both of them together will give me 2 power to all 4 of my subsystems. And then I have the hierarchy bridge officer, Potato Head. He has the pirate trait, and that gives me 1.5 more damage. Well, 1.5% more damage. You get him for free from doing one of the Delta missions. Just do them all. You should just do them all. And then let's see. This is a Klingon. I don't think she does anything for my space at all. I think she's just there because she's an extra engineer. Yeah, she does nothing for my space at all, unfortunately. When I got the free Nausicaan that also has the pirate trait that gives 1.5% extra damage, I got him as a science because I have 2 science stations on my Phantom Intel, which I don't have on this ship, but I do have on the other ship, so I could cover that too, perhaps maybe in another video or another set of videos. So I've got him, and I've got a human. The humans, one day I will replace her with a Romulan. That's one day in the future when I have enough fleet credits to do so. That's like, I don't even know. That's a lot of fleet credits, and I think he costs dilithium too. So yeah, that's going to be something. That's going to be an issue that I'll have to address one day. But for now, it's a human. They have the leadership trait, which increases hull regeneration and increases hull healing. So anything, when I click a heal, it heals me for more. So before I take this ship out for a spin, I want to redecorate it because I think the current skin on it looks disgusting. So let's go ahead and take care of that really quick. I'll make it fast too. Okay, let's go ahead and get this Borg stuff off of here. I don't like the look of that deflector. And the engines and shield can stay. So, what do we got? I don't think the color pattern matters because I've got the assimilated set on the shield. So I don't think that's really... Oh, well, look at that. It does matter. There we go. Now I think we've got a nifty looking ship here. Yeah, we'll roll with that. Okay, now what? I think I'm going to take it on a test run first. So we're going to go to the Delta Quadrant. I need to get a feel for how the ship moves. I don't want to jump into an STF and then just like totally bomb, because I don't... That's just rude. You don't do that to a team. That's my opinion. I don't do that to a team. Okay, before we do this, I need to cover traits. I did not cover traits. And I do have at least one special trait, and I'm not going to get rid of it because it helps way too much. In fact, I'm just going to come out and say it. Everybody needs to save up their dilithium to purchase an Intel Phantom Escort, and then get the mastery off of that and use that mastery. Because the starship trait you get from it is called reciprocity, and it's a very, very strong trait. When an enemy misses you in combat, you have all of your tactical and intelligence bridge officer ability recharge times reduced slightly. This reduction can happen every few seconds, and it cannot reduce an ability's recharge time below its group cooldown. When missed, minus 10% recharge time on intelligence and tactical bridge officer abilities. I mean, that's just, yeah, I'm not playing with that without that. I mean, since I got it, I'm playing with it, period. Like, that's all there is to it. And let's see. I'm missing one space tray here that I don't understand why it's not equipped. Damage reduction from it. Okay, so we have a tie here. We have a tie. We have gain damage reduction from engineering abilities and shield resist when using shield heals. You know what, I'm just going to unequip them all and we'll talk about each one as we go. How about that? First things first. Damage. I want to do damage. So we have to be accurate. And because I have the reciprocity trait, we also want to be missed, because being missed reduces the cooldown on all of my tactical abilities. Tactical abilities equal damage, so elusive. That increases my defense, which is basically evasion. And then we have Beam Barrage, gain beam damage when activating beam skills. This one right here is a trait that you get for getting level 15 in your crafting beam skill. And then we got, let's see, particle generators, flow capacitors. Flow capacitors is always good. Flow capacitors is always good. Crippling fire, critical hits reduce your target's accuracy. Well, that goes hand in hand with the reciprocity trait. I definitely want to reduce my opponent's accuracy. What else do we have here? Okay. Increases hull repair and hull plus hull and regen. We'll come back to that. Warp core potential and EPS, plus subsystem power, plus transfer rate. Definitely good. This is good for emergency power skills, and it's good for just overall power in general. Okay, and the remaining 3 skills are going to be basically survival, because that's pretty much all we got left. So, give your all. Oh, there you go. I'll take all 3. Hull repair. Shield resist when using shield heals. And damage reduction from engineering abilities. That sounds fantastic to me. And then we have the improved predictive algorithms. Activating any weapon enhancement ability removes 1 debuff effect and grants +5 accuracy for 30 seconds. You get improved predictive algorithms from completing the specialization of intelligence, which is what I normally run as my main because I love that flanking damage. Now, I'm not going to go way out of my way for flanking damage, but believe me when I tell you, when you see that flanking pop up, you know you're dealing, extra damage. So if I was to take this off, that's damage I would not be dealing. I will move for flanking damage, but I will not go out of my way for it. And then command it. I don't really, it's only here because it does stuff for me in space. It doesn't do a whole lot because it's my secondary, so I don't get everything. I only get maximum tier 2, so it's not really a major concern. The secondary is not a major concern in my book. Oh yeah, traits. And then I'm running some space reputation here. I don't know what to tell you about these. This is just do what you can with these. Do whatever makes sense to you. I don't think it has. I'm taking advanced targeting systems, which is plus 16% critical severity. Obviously, that's more damage. And I'm using precision, which is plus 4 critical hit chance. Obviously, that's more damage. And then I'm using radiant detonation matrix. All of these you get from doing reputation. I believe the radiant detonation matrix, which is 2.5% chance, 1,000 radiation damage, and 1 kilometer radius of target, and removes buffs. That's applied to energy weapons. So basically my energy weapons have not only the phaser proc, but they also now have this proc as well. So yeah, that's damage. And then we have this guy here, Omega Kinetic Shearing, plus 40% damage bonus dealt as DOT over 6 seconds. That's applied to torpedoes. And since I run a torpedo and torpedo spread, this is that's a damage, that's extra damage. So there's that. And then these guys here, you gain these skills here for reaching tier 5 in any reputation. And this is where that biomolecular shield, that bubble I was talking about earlier, that's really like an emergency thing because it's actually a really good shield heal. It says 745.9 shield regeneration a second. It's actually higher than that when you're in a match, when you're actually in a system. So there's the traits. We did duty officers, we did bridge officers, we did bridge officer skills, and we talked about the ship equipment. And we even touched on specializations a little bit. And reputation. I think we're ready for a test run. So here we go. Let's see how this does. Let's see how it stacks up against my Phantom. That was not nearly as efficient as I would have liked it to be. I like how that carrier just melted. That's nice. If you'll notice here, I don't really ever stop moving, and that's because when you move, your evasion rate, your defense rate is higher. So I don't really ever stop. I just kind of meander along at 1/4 impulse speed, and that's good enough to keep my evasion rate high enough so that my reciprocity keeps on proccing. You might have noticed I don't really have too much of a break time in between my fire at wills here. Okay, that was sloppy at best. That was definitely a sloppy run. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna go ahead and activate my combat log reader. And you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna run one more of those. And this is gonna be like a self-diagnostic thing because I run Argala a lot for, you know, specialization points, energy credits, things like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to turn it on. I'm gonna run one more Argala run here. This is gonna be like a self-diagnostic. After this, I'm gonna pick this run apart and see what I need to do better. That felt a lot more natural. Okay, this looks about right. Yeah, this definitely looks about right. And look at that. That's that's 12k DPS, and that's a terrible instance to test your DPS on because there's a lot of space in between each battle. Okay. So that definitely looks good. We'll see what happens when we test it in an ISA with random people. Let's see. Most of my damage is coming off with Fire at Will 3. That sounds right to me. And then dual phaser banks right after that. That sounds right to me as well. Gravimetric photon torpedo spread 2. That's good. That's meant to be doing a lot of my damage. That's fantastic. Phaser beam array. That is the Omni Beam on my aft. I'm doing quite a bit of damage with that, surprisingly, because it's just one weapon. And then the Gravimetric Photon Torpedo right after that, which is just one torpedo launching out of the front of my ship. That's doing a considerable amount of damage. Then this is the beam array with no fire at will, so it's doing a bit of damage on its own. The cutting beam about the same, and the biomolecular phaser turret doing about the same amount of damage. And then the rest of this stuff is just kind of like the whole build working together. That's what this is. This is the ship build itself doing its damage. This is me playing all of this from here all the way to here. This is me playing, and this right here is just stuff happening. So this right here is basically free damage. Yay, free damage, woot. Yeah, this damage right here is just kind of like happening. I'm not really doing anything for this. This is just happening. This right here though, this is me. Dual phaser banks overload to this guy right here. This little tiny slice. I'm not happy about this. This is what separates me from the actual pros. Because an actual pro would always make sure that their Omni Beam did not get the overload. Unfortunately, I'm just not that good. I'm just not. You know, if I was actually pro, my beam overload would never be taken by my Omni Beam array. It would always be done by my dual phaser banks. That's just how it is. That's just, you know, maybe one day I'll be good enough. Maybe one day I'll carry enough to try harder. I mean, honestly, if you're doing 10k damage in a match, people are going to be grateful that, you know, you're doing 10k damage. That's fantastic. You know, you get some better equipment, you upgrade your stuff, you do whatever you got to do, you increase, you get up to 30k damage. You start looking at that beam overload, you know, you're like, man, I don't really care what beam takes it. I don't care what weapon takes it. You get up to 30k damage, you're like, meh. My team will be happy with 30k. Why should I care? You know, some people want to get it as high as they possibly can. You know, more power to them. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to queue for that Infected Space Advanced run, ISA. I'm just going to run with random people. It may work, it may not. If it doesn't work, I'll cut it out. If it does work, then fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to activate the combat log reader. So I don't want to waste the time at the very beginning of the match to type it in, because that's DPS I'll be losing. So here we go. I'm actually kind of nervous. I don't want people to be like, oh great, you know, we got that, you know, tier 5 mirror ship. What a lame punk. Why would he even bother coming in here with that?
defensive capabilities are unable to withstand us. Lower your shields and await assimilation.
So far, so good.
Hull integrity below 50%.
Resistance is futile.
Hull integrity below 75%.
Oh, that's not good. Oh, that's not good. I might have just failed this for all of us.
We will have your technological and biological distinctiveness.
Woot! That was really close. From this time forward, your culture will adapt to Zora's powers. Well, there you go. Just a real quick ship setup there, and bam. I didn't just do 10k, I did 16k, and at the very beginning of the match, you saw it, I was closer to 20k. Of course, I couldn't keep that up because I had to fly to the cube. You know, if the next battle was sitting right there, I probably would have done a lot better. Well, let's see. That concludes that for this ship. I might do the other mirror ship at a later date, maybe. No guarantees on that one. Thank you for watching. Bye.